Yes, guys, we are back with a Friday night special and a very grand welcome. My name's Gianni, but a big welcome to the world number 4. Ali, regular of the show, FPL Guns, how are you, mate? Welcome to Chasing Green Arrows.
Oh, thank you. I'm good, thank you. I'm very excited for this show because it's one of my favorites on a Monday and Fridays. So I'm buzzing to be here.
Yeah, mate, we love having you. We've loved having you contributing to our chat all season. And when Dean said he couldn't make it tonight, I was like, we have to get Ali on. We have to get Ali on. So Dean will be back on Monday as normal, guys. But for 1 hour only, it's me and Ali taking you through up towards that deadline. Ali, of course, world number 4. He's world number 1 last week. And Ali, you've still got a fair few chips in hand, haven't you? You've still got your wild card to play.
Wild card as well as free hit and the bench boost. So I've used only triple captain.
How did that go?
Oh, excellent. I captained Rashford for his 20-pointer in the double game week. So
Love that. Loving that, mate. You're having one of those seasons where everything's working obviously well for you. You wouldn't be world number 4 if it didn't. But I just want to caveat that with, this isn't the guy that's flying high this season and rubbish every other season, because that can often be the case with FPL. You have one of those lucky seasons, and those at the top aren't necessarily historically been brilliant managers. Ali finished 215th in the world last year. This is an elite manager who's having another stormer. So congratulations, mate.
Thank you, Gianni. I thought it was one of the, flukes seasons, but it turned out to be probably a preparation for this one.
Yeah.
So I've taken a lot of lessons from the last year's mistakes. Let's see how it goes where I finish this year. So.
Yeah, I like that. We've got loads in the chat as well. And look, get your questions in for Ali. It's good to see CH and JP, Frode's with us, Punters with us, loads of our chasers. And obviously, Ali is one of our regulars as well, our chasers. FPL Daniel's there. Hello to you, mate. Sorry for making you wait. And look, it's completely my fault. My internet went down. And with that, I know what happened. Loads of you went off to watch one of those other streams. Well, look, those other streams are great, but they don't have the world number 4, right? So make them out. You can watch those guys speak to the camera by themselves as much as whenever you want, like 3-4 times a week, every deadline. Give Chasing Green Arrows your attention for the next hour, because honestly, the advice Ali's going to give is so worth it. So thank you for staying with us. If you're happy to hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here, that'd be awesome. But get your questions in. This is interactive. This is about you guys. In the next hour, we're going to be talking captaincy. Of course we are. We're going to be talking transfers. We're going to be showing you our teams. I still don't know what I'm doing with my second transfer. And Ali, I need your help. And I'm still torn on captaincy as well. So we've got loads coming up. I think our first feature of the day, though, and I need to check this, is going to be our fresh off the press section. But I'm just going to ask our producer if he's happy to feed me the info in the chat. Because I've rejoined the stream, I have no idea even what the running order is. The history in the chat has gone. This is a bit of chaos today. Also, Ali, I've not been on social media because I've been out for my mum's 60th birthday. So I've missed all the big headlines on Twitter today. So I'm going to be relying on you for a bit of insight. We're going to have to touch on Arsenal from last night as well. So let's load up our first item. Then we'll come to last night's games and give any of the headlines from social and the press conferences today. So it's time for Fresh Off the Press. Here we go. Ali, thoughts on Arsenal? It was 120 minutes. There was a few injuries. What are we thinking? How does that affect us with FPL?
I think some of the main FPL relevant players would be Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard, Saliba, Zinchenko. With Saliba, Arteta basically said that he felt discomfort. So it's not certain if he misses, but most likely it could have been also a precautionary measure. They just took him off just to save him for a weekend, but we don't know because his presser would be, I think, tomorrow, and that's after the deadline. That's why we have to make a decision before that. On Zinchenko, he's such a important and integral part of our team that I think I'm positive. Maybe I'm biased because I have him in my team, but I'm positive that he will start.
Yeah.
When Saka got his rest, even though he played around 55 minutes, I think Martinelli played the whole game, 120 minutes, missed the penalty. That could be a huge factor for him because I don't think Arteta will be on his case. I think, if anything, he'll just give him a start just to let him gain his confidence back if he lost any, because he's a confident guy and his work rate is amazing. So hopefully there won't be too many changes into the starting lineup. Holding might replace Saliba at the centre back. The fact that Tomiyasu and Saliba went off in the same game, that would that leaves us really, really thin at the back line because they both play in the right back. White against some of the wingers of Crystal Palace can do well, but if Zaha plays through the middle, that could be a really, really worrying note to Holding because he's not that fast. He could be on a yellow after 15, 20 minutes of trying to play against the fast, tricky Zaha. That's why I think clean sheet is possible, but it will all depends on how the team sets up, and let's see. But the main assets, I think they should be fine. Saka is a good captaincy shout, especially after his rest, playing a home game on penalties. I think they will be eager to bounce back after the Europa League loss to Sporting.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling positive about Arsenal, but you never know. It's a tough game. Pressure on them. So.
It's a dangerous game because Palace obviously have sacked Patrick Vieira today. That's the big story of the day. Paddy McCarthy, who's been at that sort of Palace, I think, with the academy for a very long time, a former player, he'll take charge. Will we see new manager bounce? It's hard. It's only 2 days of prep. I think it's a Sunday fixture, 2 p.m. Sunday. Will the players be disappointed Vieira's left? I think there will be a lot of players disappointed. I know he's been losing games, but I think he was probably a pretty popular character in the dressing room. Therefore, I'm not sure it's going to be one of those games where we see new manager bounce. It's not like they've got this new manager coming in that they know that it's going to be taking charge of them for the next 6 months or year. Not to say what we saw with Sean Dyche. This is a temporary manager for one game whilst they still look to recruit. So for me, I'm not sure we see that new manager bounce. And with that in mind, I'm like, okay, maybe I should be looking at Arsenal, because one thing we've seen from those documentaries on Arsenal, I think it was the Amazon documentary All or Nothing, is this is a manager that's going to still back his team and give them all the confidence and motivation he thinks they need. So Martinelli missing a penalty is like, no, you go out there, Martinelli, you go play 90 again. You've got this in your tank. Go score a hat-trick. And I think this team will be pumped and we'll see them bounce back. Just like after when they lost to Man City, went and saw them have a really good display. I think it was away to Villa. This Arsenal team is made of stronger stuff, but it needs leaders. And one of the reasons why Arteta went and bought Zinchenko in the summer was because Zinchenko is a leader. So we've seen the rumours. Oh, did he have cramp? Was he holding his hamstring because he had pulled it? He played on. I think he was probably due to take the 6th penalty. It was probably a bit of cramp, which a lot of players get at 120. So for me, I'm not concerned, a bit like you, Ali. I think Zinchenko has to start this football match because he's a leader. He's a mentality monster. Are you worried at all about Zinchenko? And did you see his reaction in the game with him holding his hamstring? Because I missed it, but I obviously read the reports, but Arteta hasn't quoted on it at all. So it's probably just a little bit of FPL Twitter being FPL Twitter, where we're just, getting worried about nothing.
I've missed it too, to be honest. But again, Tierney is a good left back, but we are such a different team with Zinchenko playing that inverted left back, moving into central positions with his calmness on the ball. He's a completely different player that Arteta likes. And the way we play, the way we get out of press, the way we pass the ball around, it's a completely different player than Tierney. So I'm positive that he will start, but his minutes may be reduced. Let's say he could be hooked in after 60 minutes. That would be a nervy watch if if he's about to get off. But where's the other player? If you have him, you don't do anything. If you don't have him, you might want to go for other assets like Gabriel, White, let's say.
Well, I'll talk about my moves later when we show my team, but I must admit, I am looking to bring in Chilwell. It was always for Rico Henry, but I am now also wondering if it should be for Zinchenko, because I know I want to sell Zinchenko next week anyway. So we'll talk about that later. Let's talk a little bit about Martinelli before we move off Arsenal. And obviously, Ali, you're an Arsenal fan. Martinelli's not been called up for Brazil. Martinelli was my captain going into last night for this game week. I genuinely want to go Martinelli over Saka and over Kane. But the 120 minutes doesn't put me off necessarily, but it puts me off slightly knowing 90 minutes is more risky, knowing he's just had 120. But I think he can do 120 and 90. And look, if Arsenal are cruising and they're 3-0 up, I think there's a good chance he comes off at 65, 70. But if the game is in doubt or there's only a 1-goal difference and the game state is quite tight, I still think Martinelli gets 90 and someone like Trossard comes off before him. Historically, that's what we see. And Jesus, I still don't think he's ready to play 60. He got 45 yesterday. What do you think? Do you agree with me there, Ali? Or is Martinelli too much of a risk for captaincy?
No, 100%, because I've seen him making sprints like, I think it was 115th minute or something. He was making sprints like it was the first half of the game. So I don't think he was too exhausted after the 120 minutes he got. So in terms of the fitness, I think he's pretty fit. Again, if anything, if worst things first, let's say in case of getting benched, he can still be an impact sub, let's say having a 30 minutes or something. I'm not worried about Martinelli because I do have him, and I have no intention of selling him, or moving him, or benching him. So he's pretty solid in my team.
Nice. I like that. Maybe I still will give him the armband. Stay tuned and all will be revealed. It will be Martinelli or Kane for me. I don't think I'm going to go Saka. I don't think. But we'll see. We'll see. Other big headlines today. I think Almiron is out. I think there's doubts over Schär in Newcastle, and a lot own Schär. So maybe he's one to look to sell. There's been rumours that Maddison is fine to start. Ian Atshow is fine to start, as is Barnes. So that Leicester attack looks interesting. Maddison is someone I would love to buy this week. He'll have to wait till next week for me. But what about you, Ali? I know we're not going to go into too much detail on your absolute transfers and who you're going to captain, because look, you're world number 4. You can't be telling everyone what you're doing. World number 1, 2, and 3 might be watching this, and we want you to win it. But what are you sort of thinking roughly you're going to do with your moves?
James Maddison is, I think I've mentioned in one of the previous shows that he's one of my favorite FPL assets because his ceiling is so high. When Leicester is on it, that's simply because Maddison is on the team and he plays central. He is just running the show all the time. Leicester does good. When he's not available, you could see that Leicester is a different team. They're much weaker going forward. That's why Maddison is a safe pick for those managers who are planning to free hit this week, even for wildcarders, even as a transfer in. Maddison is a good pick for this game week. I didn't know about Almiron being injured. I was going to mention that he's a good pick as well because going forward, Newcastle has really good fixtures and some of the fixtures to be rescheduled. So on Maddison there, he's an absolutely great, amazing player, and I like him, and I might even think him in my team. So
yeah. It's good to see so much in the chat. Kareem says, would you keep Martinelli on a free hit? I think we both absolutely would. We'll show my free hit draft and get Ali's thoughts coming up, but Martinelli is in there. Almiron's out, confirms Matthew. Thanks, mate. FPL Big Ed says, damn, yeah, a few have bought Almiron off the back of his goal last week. We'll feel free to answer any questions if we have time now, or we can move on. Kane's making FPL Big Ed nervous. Yeah, I think, look, Kane's a legit captaincy option this week. We'll speak a little bit about captaincy now, shall we? Because Harry Kane's a good option. Toney's a very good option. Saka and Martinelli, I think, are good options. Look, maybe Ollie Watkins and Kai Havertz are still good options. So captaincy is completely split this week, Ali. And I think that makes the game more fun. Like, who would be your sort of top 2-3 candidates this week for captaincy?
100%. We all remember seasons when Salah was a permanent captain. The game was not so much fun as it is now because we have all the options that you can captain. A lot of good fixtures, especially this game week when Haaland is not playing. That's when the game is most fun because all the managers going with different strategies, different captains. My top 2 picks would be for this week would be Saka and Kane, I would say. Most of the it's simply because they're playing for good teams. Kane is always reliable. Saka is bound to bounce back after a difficult game in Europa League, as I mentioned before. So these 2 teams, I think they will do good this game week. Yeah. And respectively, their captains, their penalty takers, and their best players as well. So.
You do like that, don't you? You like going with the penalty taker, the talisman of the team. I know you also like home advantage, so I'm keen to see if you do end up going Saka over Kane. Kane obviously plays away. Kane's had a week off. He's been training, but he's not had a midweek fixture. Southampton did have a midweek fixture, his opponent. But then obviously Palace and Arsenal have both had midweek fixtures. So from all those 4 teams there, it looks good for Kane. He's playing against potentially a more tired team and he's had a week off. Southampton are conceding chances for fun. They're not necessarily conceding tons of goals. They are conceding tons of chances. Son is 1 week. Go on. Sorry,
it's a good point you mentioned there because some of the teams, they're not used to play 3 games a week.
Yeah.
Like Southampton, if their squad isn't that deep, it might cause some problems, especially when they're facing opposition, which is fresh and ready to go 90 minutes, all guns blazing. So really, really good advantage for Spurs there because they can take advantage of it.
Yeah. We are going to show our teams coming up, but first we're going to take a couple of questions. I've seen some great questions in the chat. So Pete asks about Odegaard. I think if I owned Odegaard, I think I'd captain him. I think this week prefer Odegaard and I did prefer Martinelli to Saka. I just worry about Saka's playing so wide. Look, Saka's still a great shout. But at the moment, I love the idea. I think Odegaard's a flat track bully against the weaker teams. Martinelli's flying. Saka's been a little bit quieter. But then there's also the other side of the coin. You go with Ali's sort of rule of, but Saka's the best player and Saka's the penalty taker. So I completely get that. I just think something tells me Odegaard and Martinelli could be loads of fun. I'm going to come to you on this one, Ali. Even as a bench boost wildcard and free hit chips left. So same as you, right? you've used your triple captain and that's it. And this is the world number 4 if you're just joining, guys. Is this one of the weeks to run a chip? What do you think?
Depends on your team. If you can field 10 or 11 with a -4 and you feel good about your team, why would you use a chip? Because as long as your team needs it, go for it. But if not, just save it for later because I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of opportunities to use a free hit chip, bench boost, as well as wild card. So if your team is okay, just take a hit or don't be afraid because a lot of teams will be taking hits this game week.
Yeah. Hitoka asks about Zinchenko to Chilwell. Oh, yeah. I think it's a good move for the fixtures coming up next week. I think it's a good move. My question to you, Hitoka, is do you have a Brentford defender? And if so, is it worth shipping them on? Yes, they have a fixture against Leicester and a double in 29. But Brentford's fixtures, it's Leicester in 28. I'm sure Leicester score in that football match. And then in 29, it's a really hard double game week. Off the top of my head, it's something like Man United and Brighton.
Brighton, I believe.
Yeah, it is, and they're both away as well.
Away.
So I don't know if Brentford keep a clean sheet in the next 3. Yet Chilwell, I think, probably keeps 2, and you have the upside with Chilwell too. So I think I would consider Chilwell in, Henry out, for example, instead of Zinchenko. But that is the question I'm asking myself, because I am going to bring Chilwell in this week, and I'm not sure if it'll be for Henry or Zinchenko. What do you think, Ali? What would you do if you were bringing Chilwell in? Which one would you sell first?
I think it's a luxury move if you're trying to remove a player that plays this game week. Yes, Zinchenko's minutes are under question, but I think he has a good fixture next game week against Leeds at home. I fancy Arsenal score 2 or 3, and Zinchenko might be involved in one of them. And clean sheets odds are pretty high as well. In terms of Brentford's fixtures, I think one of the reasons why I didn't go for their defenders, because some of the positions they played are really, really high scoring, and it's not those fixtures are not good for defensive assets. As you mentioned, I'm totally with you there. That's the part of the reason why I don't have any Brentford defensive assets in my team. And going for selling a playing player this game week could backfire, because might as well just wait for next game week. So
you wouldn't go Chilwell in? You would wait? You wouldn't sell Zinchenko or Henry for Chilwell this week, even in a free move?
If I had to pick one, and I'm able to field starting 11 of playing players, I would probably remove Henry, if I'm honest.
Yeah. Torben asked about Toney, captain. Leicester defence is super weak. By the way, it looks like Everson is going to start in goal instead of Ward. For those that are looking at using bench boost Ward on 29, Leicester in the nose, Sam Martin has said today he thinks it will be Everson finally coming in. But look, there's still injuries at centre-back. No Fast, no Johnny Evans. Amati will be one of the 2 centre-backs. It's looking pretty desperate for Leicester defensively. And Toney at home, Brentford at home are good. Should we be considering Toney captain? Is just Kane and Saka therefore such standout options we shouldn't go there? But just got a call to the England squad, Toney.
Yeah, England call-up was really big for him, I can see. But the reason why he's got 9 yellow cards throughout the season, that's just his style of play as a striker. He can get a yellow card in every single match he plays in. And for free hitters or wild carders this week, I would strongly advise to reconsider Toney in their team, because once you get his yellow card, let's say if it's this game week, he will miss the whole double game week.
Yeah.
Or the next game week, he misses one of the games. It's still a risk. That's why with all the strikers options in a short-term fixtures, I think if you're using a cheap free hit or wild card, I wouldn't even go near to Toney, even though his effective ownership will be really high. But Leicester defensively, they've been shocking recently. That's why it might be a good captaincy shot for some people who believe Brentford will do good.
I don't mind it. I don't mind Captain Toney. I must admit, part of me is like, oh, should I just Captain Toney? Next question coming in. Let's see who it's from. The Flying Ninja. Toney and Son, I think is great if you're on a free hit. Great as a 1-week punt. If you're wildcarding next week, you could go Son for just a week. Do I like Son long term? No, but he scored last time out. We know he's a player that can go on these scoring streaks. Son and Kane as a double up against Southampton could be loads of fun. So yeah, don't mind that call at all. We'll go quickfire and have another question coming in before we show our teams in the next couple of minutes. Next question coming in is from XRTYS8. Hello, Ali. How do you get over disappointment? For example, seeing the 27 on the bench last week was gut-wrenching. You're a glass half full kind of guy though, Ali, right? You get through disappointment all right. It's just a game, isn't it?
Yes, exactly. At the end of the day, it's just a game, but FPL can ruin your weekend. That's especially when you have 27 points. But you have to be expecting such outcome, because you're benching leaders having a bench of triple Arsenal, and you're asking for trouble. I'm not gonna say hindsight as a hindsight merchant that it was coming, but Arsenal is a decent side. They're number one for a reason. That's why benching any of their players, you have to be expecting them. In this, there's a lot of points on your bench. Just don't be disappointed. Know that that was coming.
Yeah. Just seen on Twitter, by the way, Shah is out for Newcastle. He's not been called up by Switzerland because of an injury. So it looks he's got recurring foot pain. And it's a shame because a lot on wildcard went Shah over Botman. And obviously they're relying on him not only this week for a fixture, but bench boost too. So I think Chilwell's going to get even more love as people perhaps sell their Newcastle asset. João Felix should be fine. He played 45. He came off at half-time. It was meant to be tactical. If it was a knock, it could have been, but we haven't heard anything around injuries there. So Felix should be good to go, Alfred. I think we'll probably move on. We've got just this one more question from Abda. Martinelli or Maddison, considering the 29 bench boost. Look, next week for the bench boost, I think Maddison over Martinelli. But this week, I would perhaps just wait another week, keep Maddison for 28, and then keep Martinelli for 28, then make the Maddison move in 29. But look, I want to see Ali's team. I want to see mine. We're still going to share a free hit draft. We've got loads to get through. So without further ado, let's show Pimp My Team. We got a bit of Pimp My Team and a lot of team reveal. Exactly what I meant to say. Let's show our team reveals. First up, we're going to show Ali's team. Ali, you went from world number 1 to world number 4, 80 points. It's fine. You can't have a huge green arrow every week. Tell us, money in the bank, free transfers, roughly where are you at? We're not showing your team to play this week. We're just showing the points you got last week, but we can see your squad here.
Yes, last game week was quite a week for me because I've had a slight setback, but I'm fine. I expected that because a lot of people had double Brighton, double Brentford defenses. Out of 4 fixtures from 2 teams, I was really counting on 1 clean sheet, but it happened to be 2, and that's what actually caused me a little setback. But overall, my transfers paid off, even though I took a hit. It was Kane and Toney, so it was a 26 point, even though Haaland scored the 6th center. I had to go for Toney because of his EO, and I think it paid off, and I have him this game week. Not for long term. I don't think I'll be keeping Toney for long term, but he's okay for now at the moment. My bench was really weak. I was really adamant to bench João Felix, but happily he didn't score that much. You don't know whether to be happy or upset when your bench scores, because you have to be happy because once you need your bench players, you need them to be performing. The rest of the team, Liverpool really let me down because after the Manchester United show, it was really, I expected them to return some points, but Salah missing a penalty. It's fine margins in the game. Trent Alexander-Arnold could have easily kept a clean sheet, but still, it's one of those games, you expect something, but you don't get it at the end. But it was okay. I was expecting a little setback, and basically Salah and Trent scored 27 points a week before, which was the point swing between wildcarders and non-wildcarders this game week. So we're even now. Let's see how this game week pans out.
So how many are you looking to get out this game week? I don't know if we've got the graphic for your team at the moment this week. If we haven't, that's fine. But talk us through it. How many have you got out before your transfers?
I think with all the questions marks on Arsenal players, I think I have to go for a 4-point hit here and try to field a full 11 because it's going to be a low-scoring game week, most likely, with people having 9 or 10 players. I think I have to take a hit there and go for 2 players in.
Good stuff. Okay. Well, look, you'll see Ali's team on his Twitter handle. So make sure you're following him on Twitter at FPL Guns. Just after the deadline here, I'm sure Ali, you'll be posting your team. So we can see that and stay tuned for more. Let's show my team, which will be my team rather than what I achieved last week. Here we go. No, this isn't my team. This is a free hit draft. I think we've got my team.
I was going to say, wow.
Yeah, this is definitely not mine. This is a good team. It's a free hit draft, but we can actually show my team and how it's looking for the game week ahead, I think. Let's have a look. Maybe we can't. Maybe we can't. Well, in that case, this is a free hit team. I can talk you through my team. Let's go perhaps with just me and Ali on screen, and rather than talking over a team that isn't mine, I'll talk you through where I'm at. So you can probably remove this. Here we go. So my team, this is what you're tuning in for, I guess. I mean, some of you are free hitting, and it's important for us to show that free hit team, but perhaps not now when I'm showing you what I'm actually planning on doing. So if you do want to know my moves, I think we have got it. Yeah, good job. Right. So this is where I'm at, Ali. We can see my player's not playing at the moment. So at the moment, I've got 10, right? Solly March isn't playing. I've made a transfer. So Kai Havertz has come in for Haaland. I already had tons of money in the bank. Now I'm absolutely minted, 7.9 million. But I have got one free transfer. To get 11 out, I need to either sell Rashford, not happening, or a Brighton player. I could sell Matoma, or Estupinan, or March. And I could say bring in a player I know is playing this week and then reverse that next week and bring in McAllister, for example. It could be a way of shuffling around my Brighton mids. And I do think McAllister is the number one Brighton midfielder to own at the moment. But I don't think there's much in it. And I don't want to get involved with the okie dokie of selling Brighton and bringing Brighton back. So for me, Estupinan, Matoma and March, they're locked in. They're staying where they are. So that leaves me with, do I sell Zinchenko or Rico Henry and bring Chilwell in? I think Chilwell is an improvement on both those players, but which one is the key? And I still don't know the answer to that. Likewise, I could roll the transfer because I'm selling a player that's playing for another player that's playing, but I would argue Chilwell versus Everton and a much better double game week than Henry beats Henry versus Leicester. And I think Chilwell versus Everton is similar to Zinchenko versus Palace, but then obviously Chilwell has a double game week over Zinchenko's fixture against Leeds. So I'm really, really torn here. And I know I asked you earlier, Ali, and I think you gave me an answer of you would sell Henry before Zinchenko. Is that right still?
That's true, but it all depends on what you're doing next game week. Are you set on some plans for next game week?
Yeah, I'm set on bench boost next week, and I'll be selling Saka or Martinelli for Maddison. So that'll be someone playing twice. So it means I'm trimming down on my Arsenal players, but that's okay. Arsenal's fixtures in 30-31 aren't brilliant. And then in 32, where they've got a good fixture, I think it's Southampton, I'll be free hitting. So I'll be bringing Arsenal back in for that fixture, and I'll still have one, maybe two. So guys in the chat, let me know. I mean, John said he'd sell Estupinan. Give me a name in the chat. Type the word sell Henry or type the words sell Zinchenko. I'm buying Chilwell this week. Matthew says roll. Third option to put in the chat. Let's see what you're thinking in the chat. And look, I think loads are going to say sell Estupinan because it gets you 11 out this week. But I just don't want to be wasting transfers. Barbani says roll. -4 says sell Zinchenko. Michael sell Henry. Rui Estupinan to Chilwell. Bazal says sell Henry. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you as well, Eddie. Looks like there's a couple of sell Henrys. Yeah, Bill's saying the same. FPL injuries. Jason's in the chat. Zinchenko calf issue could be a worry. Yeah, it could be. But we said at the top of the show, me and Ali are both of both backing Zinchenko to start. Although, look, if you know something we don't, FPL injuries, then please do let us know. Selling Henry seems to be more and more popular. There's a few roles. CH is a role. Ditch Henry, remove a Stupidan, sell it. Yeah, I'm definitely not selling a Stupidan. I just can't. He's so good, and I know I want him back straight away. Looks pretty. Looks fit there, Ali.
Rolling is not a bad option because after the international break, there might be some injuries to your team.
Yeah.
So you might want to use your 2 transfers down there because maybe if your team is good, why not just switch Henry then? So rolling is a good option as well. I like it.
Rolling is the patient option, and you're so good at being patient, Ali. But then I'm like, next week, I'm going to buy Chilwell. I know Chilwell's going to be in my team. And if I'm buying him next week, why not just buy him this week? Because next week, I don't mind having one free transfer because I'm up for taking a hit if I need to. So I've thought next week let's say I go Henry to Chilwell. Next week, I'll probably still sell Zinchenko and go Luke Shaw and then go Maddison from Saka or Martinelli for a hit. So I want to be aggressive with it. I really want Chilwell for that Everton game. I think that could be an 8-9 pointer. And I don't see attacking returns necessarily from Henry or Zinchenko, despite both having a good chance, but not as good a chance as Chilwell. So it's tough. Like, the chat is completely split. Ali, you're torn. You like the option of roll or maybe sell Henry. I'm completely torn. There is no surprise here. There is no obvious move. But one obvious move in my head is that Chilwell has to come in. So I just need to decide now, is it for Zinchenko or Henry? I'm limiting myself to one of these 2 options. Rolling is off the table and a Stupinan is off the table. So if the chat want to just give me, out of those 2 options, your opinion, that'd be valuable. Ali, I did not want you to tell me that rolling is a good option. But there we go. What about the rest of the team? Captaincy, Ali. You mentioned earlier Saka or Kane. Are you still torn, or have you made your mind up?
I think I'm a little bit torn. I'll make my mind up after the stream because it's really 50-50. Kane can always score. Whether in the Arsenal team, anyone from front 4 can score and bank, but Saka is still a good option. So 50-50 for me. I'll probably roll the dice if it gets to it. So
Tony says captain Martinelli still, Gianni. I don't know. Martinelli is genuinely an option. So's Kane. I think Saka's possibly off the table for me. But I am looking at that Havertz and Toney fixture and going, Everton at home, Leicester at home, that could be fun. I mean, Kane's going to be over 100% EO. From what I've seen this week on all the polls, Kane's been around 50%. Saka's been around 30%, and then a bit of a spread. Some will go Watkins, some will go Toney, some will go Odegaard or Martinelli. But it feels like the vast majority are going, or at least 50%, probably more, are going Kane in all the big polls I've seen. Have you seen similar, Ali?
Yeah, I think so. If I were you, I would highly consider Havertz for captaincy, to be honest. If I was a Chelsea fan, that would be on the cards, definitely, because we just brought him in. We're probably going to get... he's been on fire in the last couple of weeks because he's always involved. He wants the ball a lot. He's always shooting. A bit unlucky, of course. Just like Joao Felix have been. But, Kai is a good option for me as well. Again, it's all about fun. You have to know your own definition of fun and the style of playing. If it's fun for you to captain Havertz and watch the game, why not do it? Why not go for it?
It is a TV game, the 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. A few in the chat saying Havertz, which is hilarious because I owned Havertz a few weeks ago and I was sick of it, Ali. Every single time I showed my team from the restart, I owned Havertz. It was, what's Havertz doing in your team? And honestly, the amount of stick I got for owning Havertz, and now it's fashionable and okay to do so. But 2 months ago, it wasn't. It's like, Dude, 2 months ago, he scored 12 points against Bournemouth when I owned him. Oh, and by the way, you lot all own Mitrovic, who kept blanking. So I thought that was hilarious. And now it's like socially acceptable to own Havertz again. Well, I tell you something, Havertz has been a brilliant player for the last couple of months, and he's always been a legit option when he's playing number 9 in this Chelsea team. So there we go, rant over. Look, let's compare Havertz and Watkins, because there's some still to make that move, and loads are selling Haaland. So look, let's move off this and go to the comparison in tips and chips, and then perhaps I can show the free hit team after that. So let's have a look now at tips and chips. It's Havertz, it's Watkins, we're comparing them. I feel like I've got tons of unanswered questions, Ali, and half an hour or so. And I'm like, who's my captain? Who's my transfers? I'm not a kind of leave it late manager. I usually do these streams with the decisions done. So yeah, I'm slightly panicking already. Let's look at these two. Have you sold Haaland this week?
I think I've sold him last week.
Ah, nice. Oh, you went for Toney, didn't you?
Yeah, I did it because I knew I would be torn between selling him or keeping him. That's why I just did it last week. So
you've still got João Felix, and you're likely to keep him, you think?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I promised Dean that Felix is gonna score brace this game week, so I'm backing him, and hopefully next game week as well. He's good.
Yeah.
He's got
Have
good,
you seen
double game week.
Have you seen Sterling is out? So that front three will be Mudryk, Felix, and Havertz, which I think I'm happy with. Like, whilst I think Sterling, Felix, and Havertz is our best front three at Chelsea, I do think Sterling has a lot of big chances that fall to him, as we saw against Dortmund, and therefore it could take a little bit off Felix and Havertz. But when Mudryk's in the team, Mudryk feels like what we've seen so far in a Chelsea shirt. He's more a creator than Sterling. So it could be good in terms of he's assisting Havertz and assisting Felix. But the three clicked really well. And Mudryk in the team is also very good for Chilwell, by the way, down that left-hand side. So, yeah, I'm fairly happy about that. But look, let's compare these two. I know you're not in the market for either, Ali, so you're a really good person to ask about this. Yeah, most in the chat will have sold Haaland this week, and most in the chat will probably have bought Watkins. But if you're still to make that decision, I think there's a big case for Kai Havertz. Now, these numbers are all better for Watkins, but this is over the course of a season. When we take the last couple of games, including the Champions League games, Havertz's numbers are equal to Watkins, if not slightly better. And when we look at the fixtures there at the bottom, Havertz's next three is better than Watkins' next three, because Havertz's next three are 3 home games. If you were selling Haaland for one of these, for the immediate, where would you be going if you didn't own Felix? What would you say to those out there looking to buy one of these players?
I'll be going for Kai Havertz, most definitely. Nice. Because Chelsea is on up at the moment, because they've had a couple of good results. I think they would really want to build the momentum, keep the momentum going, and build up their confidence even further. In comparison, if you look at Watkins, I don't think Aston Villa is scoring a lot of goals. They haven't been scoring a lot. His ceiling is quite moderate. It's not.
Agreed.
He's rarely on those, double-digit goals. When Kai Havertz can score a brace easily in the game, Chelsea has been right in the last couple of game weeks. That's why I think I would go for Kai Havertz.
I like that. I'm glad you said that, because it's been common in the community, and I don't think Watkins is a bad buy at all. But with you, like, you use the term moderate. I think that's fairly fair. Like, I don't see Watkins as the most explosive, and I don't see Villa as a team that are going to go score 3 goals a game. Now, sure, look, Chelsea haven't been scoring 3 goals a game either, but I just feel like they've got it in them more. They've got enough quality there. And when you look at the fixtures being at home, Everton have been bad away from home under Dyche. And then Villa and Liverpool will be interesting games, but I still think Chelsea are favourites for probably both of them. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting. We've got questions in the chat about Toney captain. Listening to Ali swayed me going without Toney on wildcard. Fair. Kane is hardly someone who bangs this season either. Yeah, it's fair, Mark, but Southampton are so poor in terms of chances conceded. It's a tough one. I think there's a good chance I end up going Kane on captaincy just to be safe, but then I'm being a little bit more bold with my transfers by going the likes of Chilwell and Havertz and selling someone like Henry, who's been fairly popular of late. We've compared these two. Should we have a look now at that free hit team that we saw briefly earlier? Because this free hit team gives a good indicator of players that are good this week if we were on a free hit. And I'm not telling you guys to free hit by any stretch, but if you were to free hit, this is the sort of team you could put up. And maybe you're not looking to free hit this week, but you're looking at it going, okay, I could use this. I'm trying to work out what the little signs next to the players mean. Ignore the little swirly signs. But Chilwell doesn't have one. Saka and Martinelli and Maddison don't have one. So it's not a benching thing. Ignore the signs. The 11 would be Martinez in goal, a back three of Chilwell, Gabriel and James. So Porro and Moreno would be benched. The midfield four would be the first four names working from left to right. So ideally, the right-hand side of the screen, Carson, Pedro Porro, Moreno, Somerville, cut all them out. Saka, Martinelli, Maddison and Son are the midfield four. And then Watkins, Kane and Havertz. So whether you're on free hit or not, these are the players we like this game week. Would you produce something similar, Ali? Do you like the kind of Maddison and the Son inclusion?
Oh yeah, it's a solid team. I think James is questionable for this game week. I think he's a doubt. Pedro Porro is a good shout as well. I mean, no one is going to have a lot of many Spurs assets, and having two of them in your free hit team can really push you up the ranks, especially if they keep a clean sheet. Pedro Porro has a good delivery on his right foot. We've seen his assist against Forest last week to Kane. It was a good cross, you know.
It's a great cross.
Why not? But I liked him at Sporting. Watching him in the Champions League, he's a good asset to own.
Just realised, I've seen from the chat, Matthew said, "To Moreno is cheating." And I saw loads of lols emojis. And then Matthew said, "That's not Watkins." And I was thinking, that's Wout Weghorst. But it's not. It's Moreno twice. Because if you look up at the left back, Moreno, it's exactly the same face. And I was going, that's Wout Weghorst in a Villa shirt. Have they got like the Burnley colours with the Villa logo? So yeah, just a bit of fun. Look, we like to keep you guys on your toes in the chat. We love to throw in a couple of errors every week and see if you spot them. And this week they're perhaps a little bit more obvious. You've all spotted them. If you like the graphic on screen and you think it's a bit of fun, then please do show your support by hitting that like button. Peter's trying to tempt me to captain Havertz, and you've tempted me again, Ali. There are so many legit captain options this week, because if we just look at this free hit team, you could argue that front three, Wout Weghorst, Kane and Havertz are all captainable. You could argue Son is captainable. You could argue Saka and Martinelli are captainable. And look, Toney's not even on this graphic. You could argue he is too. So it really is split. Do you think we'll see Kane reach 100% effective ownership? His ownership's sort of 40% plus, I think. So reaching 100 might be pushing it, but he'll certainly be close to that, won't he?
I think he will be close to that. He will be close to that. That's why it's I'm still torn, 50-50 between Saka and Kane. I don't know. This is a good team. That's why I'm recommending you to consider your captaincy. Maybe Havertz is a good shout as well. Go different. I know I'm going to be get absolutely killed for my random recommendations, but it's all about having fun with it. So as long as you have fun, just go with your gut.
And that's why I bought Havertz. I bought him because I was like, look, there's very little between Watkins and Havertz. But the gains I can take with Havertz are when he scores, I know I'm going to celebrate it. I'm a Chelsea fan. I want to see Havertz do well. And then I was like, this is a game. Games have to be fun. So if you're on the fence between two players, Watkins and Havertz, pick the player that you want to do well and get behind and support. But I do wonder if owning him is enough. Do I want to go all out against a Sean Dyche defence? Does that Everton backline not concern you that they can turn it on any given day and be very resolute and good defensively?
If anything, the style of play that Havertz it's usually it goes good against the team that plays the low block because he's really technically gifted. He can score in 2 touches. His technique is really good. It's not very well suited for players like Mudryk, let's say. He's good on a break. I would count on him playing against a team with a high back line. But Havertz can play in a really, really small spaces. So that's why I think he could be a good shout this game. I wish I had him for Felix, but Felix it is.
Yeah, and they can both benefit because they link so well. I love that those two players are on the same wavelength. And you're absolutely right. I love your description there, Ali, because you're right. Havertz is a player that can score with 2 touches. And we saw last week, I mean, it was 1 touch, that Enzo dink over the top. But if we go back a year, almost a year to the day, the goal against Newcastle from the Jorginho ball over, and it was a left foot touch and a left foot poke home. I retweeted it the other day, but that's the sort of, I think Havertz is one of the most, I'd put him in the top 3 most technically gifted attacking footballers in the Premier League. He is that good, and he's great in those tight spaces. And as you say, Everton will be very, very deep and they will park the bus. But if Chelsea do manage to score early and Everton then need to come out a little bit, we could see 3-4 goals. But I do think owning him will probably be enough. And I'm going to be celebrating his points regardless. I think I'm probably edging on Kane captain still. Is Martinelli silly because he's so more likely to get the 60?
I think so, yeah. If it was
120 minutes.
Yeah. If they had 90 minutes, I think it would be a good shot. But now he's likely to be replaced in around 60, 70 minutes because Jesus is knocking on the door with his fitness and with Trossard doing great as well. I think Martinelli captaincy is a little bit of a stretch. So.
Yeah, I like that. I think you're probably right. Well, at least I'm halfway there. FPL Injury says, out of position Moreno, Gianni, you're a genius. I love that. Yeah. Ali, I know you need to get off at 6 o'clock, and I want to give you a good half an hour breathing space to make your decisions.
I'm okay, to be honest. I can hold on if you want.
Okay, good. Well, let's go for another 10.
Sure.
Great. Let's do some quickfire questions. Look, let's make the most of having world number 4 in the house. So, guys in the chat, there's 188 of you. About a third of you have hit that like button. If you fancy hitting the like button. But more importantly, guys, we do these streams every Monday and Friday. We don't usually do deadline streams. So if you want to continue on that journey with Chasing Green Arrows, we want to use this as an excuse to say to you, please do consider hitting that subscribe button because we want you to be alerted every time we go live. And we always do live streams here on Chasing Green Arrows so we can engage with you. So when you hit subscribe, hit the bell. But we want to engage with you because we want to be able to answer questions. And where else can you ask the world number 4 a quickfire question? So, Ali, you'd seen Dean and I often do this towards the end of the show where we do alternate questions and we do sort of 20-second answers. So I'm going to hit you with the first one and then we'll alternate. Haaland to Bamford as a differential. And I know you like Bamford.
Yes, absolutely. I think Leeds will be starting to score more goals than because they have Bamford coming back from the injury. I think it's a good shout as a differential. No one will have him, and they have actually a decent double next game week as well because Forest at home for Leeds, who will try to get a revenge after a loss at their ground. I think Leeds are really good shout, especially Bamford.
Yeah. Ali and Gianni. Oh, I don't know if you can have both of us do. We're doing quick fire. So this is unfortunately take on. You've got the short straw. I'm answering your question. What should I do with Emerson Royale? I think he's probably a sell, though we could see him on either side because we have seen him at times on the left. I think Porro's playing really well. They both are. Emerson Royale was flavour of the month, but Porro's got something special in his locker, I think. So it's just too risky with the shared minutes potential. And Ben Davis has been playing well at left wing back. I'd sell him for Chilwell. So let's move on to the next one. This one's for you. Triple captain punt, Ali. What do you reckon? Punter fancies this week. Oh, sorry, not triple captain. Trippier.
It's an away game. Even though Brennan Johnson, I think, is out of this match, he won't be featuring because forced attack with Johnson in it is completely different team. I don't know how it's going to affect. Even Newcastle has good clean sheet odds for this game week. But captain in Trippier, I mean, if you want to go differential or not.
Yeah. Gianni, why not Chilwell for Stupinan? It will give you an extra starting player. You're quite right, it will. And I did notice a big poll earlier on Twitter which said, if you're buying Chilwell, do you sell a Brentford player or a Brighton player? I.e., are you selling Henry or a Stupinan? And 40% said Brentford and 32% said Brighton. 26% said see the results. So more are selling a Brentford defender. Therefore, Mark, you pose a good question. But from those 13,000 votes, I agree with that. I disagree with that 40%. I would sell... that's saying more would sell Brentford. It's because Estupiñán's so good. And long-term, we want Estupiñán in our teams. Long-term, do we want Rico Henry? And for the double, we can all go, in 29, Rico Henry's got a double game week. I see two two-pointers there. I don't think Brentford keep a clean sheet in either fixture in the double. And I really don't think Brentford keep a clean sheet against Leicester this weekend either. Therefore, I'm happy to sell. I know 11 players would be really cool. But for me, Estupiñán is someone I know I'm going to want long term. So I'm gonna see it out, and I'm gonna stick with Estupiñán long term. Whether he's plays in that first fixture in 29 or not, coming back from Australia, Brighton are owed loads of double game weeks, and he's a player. He's going to get attacking returns. Let's move on. Thank you, Mark. Eunice Fitness, Captain Watkins, a good shout. Home to Bournemouth. Bournemouth are showing some signs of promise, though, Ali.
Yes, exactly. Even though they're fighting in relegations, that might be a good sign because they're fighting for their lives. And they've put a couple of good performances against Liverpool at home and against Arsenal at away. They've scored 2. I mean, it's the captain in Watkins is. I would say it's kind of boring, but it depends on your team, on who, what are the alternatives you have.
Yeah. It all comes down to the alternatives. I don't like to trust players and teams with captaincy when I think the team's fairly unpredictable, and I still don't think Villa are predictable enough. And I don't know, even with Watkins like 6 goals in 7, I feel like Villa aren't safe enough necessarily. I'd rather go Toney over Watkins for captaincy. And Bournemouth have surprised me. Let's move on. Next question or two. We've got a couple of minutes left. Premier injuries. When do you think will be the next opportunity to triple captain? I mean, if you're not bench boosting next week, there's some good fixtures in 29. And then obviously there's still going to be a fair few doubles. But in 29, we've got good options. Like Rashford's a legit option in 29. Brighton have 2 good fixtures. What do you reckon, Ali?
34, 37. I think if you're not using chips. Yeah, exactly. If you're not using chips when the game of 34 or 37 comes up, it's a good opportunity to use your triple captain on City player, or even Liverpool will most likely have doubles. So I think there will be good opportunities when no one is using that chip. So
yeah. Avidish says Morgan Gibbs White is a differential on a free. I don't mind that.
Newcastle defense is fairly good. I don't think he will be scoring too many points down there, even though they're playing at home.
It's a low ceiling, isn't it? It's a low ceiling. Like if Gibbs White does score, it's 1 return maximum, isn't it?
It is. It is, to be honest.
And your free hit this week shouldn't need the money, so you shouldn't necessarily need budget. Look, put him on your free hit squad on the bench, but in terms of your 11, you should be able to get a better 4th or 5th midfielder out. Pros and cons of Toney Kane captaincy. I mean, the main con for Harry Kane is Spurs can have an off day. This is not a team flying high where consistently they're doing well. But even when Spurs have an off day, you still don't put it past Kane to score 1 or 2. Toney, ceiling is high. What do you reckon, Ali?
Toney, they've played a midweek game as well. Leicester defense been good. They have a couple of missing. I think centre back Fias is missing. I don't like the Toney pick, to be honest. I would rather go Kane captain.
Yeah. There we go. Look, I'm going to ask you another question. I can't stop thinking about Zinchenko, Ali. And this is causing a lot of managers headaches because I'm being tweeted about it. So Zinchenko, there's a good chance he starts. There's a good chance if he starts, he comes off at 60 or whatever. Is it worth risking it, knowing I'm probably going to be selling him next week anyway? Knowing Rob Holding's going to be one of the centre-backs, Palace could very easily score. And I just wonder, maybe it's time to sell Zinchenko. Like, I don't know. It feels like an unnecessary risk, knowing he could have a hamstring issue. We just don't know.
That's true. If you're leaning towards that decision, that's not a bad decision at all. I would, of course, you're having a Henry in your team that will definitely play, and Zinchenko might even, lose his clean sheet. Might even not start at all. So
my problem with I do think Zinchenko probably starts, but my problem with it is I know Rico Henry starts, and whilst Leicester, I'm convinced Leicester are going to score against Brentford, but Rico Henry has been coming close. He had one cleared off the line last week, and if Rico Henry goes and scores or gets an assist, an attacking return off the back of selling him in a blank game week when I need the players, I'll be sick. So maybe it'll be Zinchenko that goes rather than Henry. It's a tough one, that. It's a really tough one. Yeah.
It's 50-50 on that.
Barbani says, Gianni, why don't you consider selling Botman for Chilwell? No, Botman's staying in my team long term. And Newcastle, by the way, guys, could have a double game week in game week 31. They're owed a fixture with Brighton, and there'll be a fixture there. Eunice asked about Shah starting, or Cher, however you like to pronounce it. And Cher is unlikely to play. He's not made the Switzerland squad. He's out. So yeah, there we go. I think I want to leave you to it, Ali, because this is a big time in the season for you. Any final thoughts? Like, how are you feeling? You seem really calm. Like, I feel like I'm twitchy and edgy, and here I am at 200 and whatever in the world, K. And there you are at number 4 in the world with 20 minutes to go to the deadline, having just lost the number 1 slot and a couple of big decisions to make in your team. You got the free transfers and you're playing catch up a little bit with wildcarders and you're just super chill. What's going through your mind?
I think there's still a lot of games, game weeks ahead. That's why it's early to, be stressed about it. I know I can go down the ranks in the next couple of game weeks. It's okay. I know I have plans to overcome all of that setback in a couple of games. So I think I'll be fine. I expect a setback when I see one coming. So I'm okay. At the end of the day, it's a Friday night. I'm on one of my favorite YouTube shows. Why not to be chill?
Mate, I love that answer. So much to learn from you as an FPL manager, genuinely. So thank you so much for coming on the show. And we actually had a 15-minute chat, didn't we, on my other YouTube channel? And I'd stress for anyone to go and watch that. Maybe not now because you're worrying about the deadline, but at some point, if you can. Ali gave me his top 5 tips, and being patient is one of them. And you can understand and gain a lot, I think, from your gameplay. So yeah, that's really cool. Ali, I'm going to let you go. I'm going to stay on for a couple more minutes. But Ali, we look forward to seeing you in the chat on Monday, and definitely having you back on this channel because it's been awesome having you. And I know Dean was gutted not to be here. He was like, I can't believe you're getting Ali on the week I'm away. So yeah, we'll let you crack on, go win the thing, and we'll see you very soon, mate.
Thank you, guys. It's been a pleasure. Good luck for everyone. Hope you guys all have green arrows. So no stress, nothing to be upset about. Good luck.
Love that. Thank you, mate. We'll take care and we'll speak to you very soon. Good job. World number 4 in the house. That was fun. That was awesome. I'm stressing. What, honestly, like, to see Ali so chill, and there I am, like, what is my rank? 280k, worrying about who I sell Ben Chilwell for. Like, grow up, Gianni. What's the chat saying? I think you all loved having Ali on, right? If you loved having Ali on, then please do hit the like button or just comment or subscribe or show your support. Decisions to make, though. Decisions to make for me. I haven't even brought up my team. Like, I'm gonna stay on. And you guys can choose to watch or not. Like, I don't do deadline streams usually, so I'm going to struggle to make the last couple of minutes about you guys because I feel like I need to focus on my team. But if you want to sit in on that, I think that's what people do with these deadline streams. You usually are used to watching a single content creator, probably 15 minutes to the deadline, just do their own team. So here we are. This is fun. Look, of course, some of you have just disappeared because, yeah, the best managers are ice cold. So true. So true. You can say that in real life as well, can't you? Jose Mourinho, ice cold. Mancini, ice cold. Pep. Yeah, Rian, Ali is so chill. Oh, good. Yeah, I miss Dean as well, Bill. He'll be back. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. Okay. Captain is now on Kane. I really wanted to captain Martinelli. Hey, producers, if this is rubbish viewing, you want me just to go, then we can definitely do that. But let's stay on until I get booted off. Let's see. Please answer, says JP. Pros and cons of Toney. JP, we answered that, dude. And not everyone got their question answered. You got yours in detail. By the world number 4 and by me. I said Kane. No, he's not. Doing the Wheel of Fortune. Brilliant. I'm going to captain Kane. The reason I'm captaining Kane is Southampton are useless and they're conceding chances and they played midweek. The big thing for me with the Kane decision is Spurs have had a week on the training ground, and when Conte teams have a week on the training ground, they're usually so well drilled and so well prepped. I also like the addition of Richarlison, which I think we'll see a front three of Richarlison with Son on the other side. And Southampton are not a team that are used to playing twice a week because they're never in Europe. And with that in mind, I think Southampton are going to struggle with that turnaround despite it being 2 home games. So Kane's going in as captain. I'm locking that in right now. Kane captain. I really wanted to go different this week. And genuinely, if Martinelli hadn't have played 120, let's say Martinelli got 60 last night, he'd be my captain. So I think Arsenal will score more against Palace than Spurs will score against Southampton. The problem is when Arsenal score, there's a big share of points, isn't there? You just don't know which of the 4 or 5 attackers it will be. When Spurs score, I expect Kane to be involved in 50% of those goals. So there we go. There we go. I much prefer deadline streams with 2 people. You guys should be watching the 2 people deadline streams more often, like chasing green arrows. I was sorting dinner, says JP. That's fine, mate. That's fine. Life goes on. I don't want to steal all your time at Friday night. Okay, think about this, Gianni. Tune in. Help me out in the chat. Come on. I'm buying Chilwell. I so want Chilwell in my team. I'm selling Zinchenko or I'm selling Henry. Please don't tell me to sell Estupinan. I'm locked. I'm not doing that. I'm going to go with 10 men this game week. Estupinan is staying, baby. I think. That's my free hit draft. Might be worth showing my actual team. And then I can talk through it. Whatevs. Here we go. Yeah. I think the free hit team has been called something different, and it was a mistake to show it, and you were meant to bring up this. Okay. I've seen a few selling Brighton midfielders like Matoma, and then I could go McAllister next week. Maybe should I bring in Maddison? This is getting silly now, isn't it? If I was to bring in Maddison, I don't get Chilwell. No, I need Chilwell. Something tells me I want McAllister for the double. He's so good, McAllister. But then I wouldn't know who to sell at Matoma and March. I want them both. I want all 3, but I also want a Estupinan. No, forget about the Brighton Okie Kokies. They're staying. Sell Zinchenko because he had a single fixture next week. Yeah, that's the thing, Eunice. I will be selling Zinchenko probably next week anyway against Leeds because I'll be like, oh, shall I bring Luke Shaw in? Inacho, Watkins, or Havertz? Do we know anything? For security minutes, sell Zinchenko, but Henry will probably not keep a clean sheet. Yeah, agreed. Zinchenko plays, he'll be getting more points than Henry. But does he play Captain Havertz, Gianni, and kill me later? Thanks, Ali. I can't, mate. I can't Captain Kai. Owning him's enough. I might Captain Kai in the double. I might captain him in the double. 2 home games, Villa, Liverpool. I'm just going to have a quick search on Zinchenko, see if we know anything. I just want to know, is it a hamstring injury or was it cramp? It's a big, big decision, that. Is it a hamstring injury or is it cramp? Honestly, like, if it's cramp, everyone gets cramp. 120 minutes, getting cramp is fine. But if it's a hamstring concern, you're out. I don't think I can risk it. And he has had he's not been the most robust player. He's been injured quite a bit over the years. Oh, it's easy to say you'd captain Havertz if you had him, Eunice. Come on. Would you? I'd captain Ollie Watkins if I had him. But would I? I don't know. No. Yeah, Fofana's a good buy. He's nailed. 4.2 or something, isn't he? Guys, I'm going to sell Zinchenko. I think. Rico Henry could get an attacking return against Leicester, couldn't he? That game's got goals. I think Brentford-Leicester could be a 2-2. Oh, Palace new manager bounce? I don't think we see it. It's not really a proper manager. Paddy McCarthy takes the reins. No, let's do it. Let's do it. Zinchenko, you're in the bin, mate. I think. Yeah, it's a very good point, Mus. I've just had a reminder. Make your transfers because we have seen site crashes, haven't we? Imagine. Oh, I never leave it this late. Yeah, but Mus, all right. Good friend in the chat, Mus, producer of the show. Mus, can you tell me, you've just amazing gesture there. G, confirm your transfers before the site crashes. But can you follow that up with who I should sell, Zinchenko or Henry? I want your opinion, mate, because Mus is a couple of points behind me in our mini league, and I can't lose to him. I can't. I'm meant to be the FPL expert. He was above me last weekend. So come on, mate, help a brother out. Who shall I sell? Take out Ward for a -4. Ooh. If you're relying on me to start, yeah. Yeah, thanks, Premier Injuries. Premier Injuries, if you're not following, by the way, Ben Dinnery and Jace, make sure you're following them. Make sure you're following Premier Injuries. Brilliant YouTube channel. Ben Dinnery is the god of injuries. And look, if he's been advising that Zinchenko has had calf issues, that's really interesting, isn't it? And he did miss a lot of games early. He's always missed a lot of games. No chance. Estupinan stays. Estupinan stays. Because then I'm just using 2 transfers. It was calf issue that affected him early when he missed 10 games, was it? But he did carry on last night. And there is an international break. But yeah, I think if he starts, he definitely comes off early. And there's just that fear he comes off before 60, isn't there? It's not worth risking. Yeah. All right, Zinchenko out. Let's do it. I tell you what, though, it's really weird experience doing a stream by myself like this as the deadline approaches and thinking out loud. Because it's like when you think out loud like this, I feel like it's a very different thought process. Usually I'm in a quiet room just doing it myself. So I hope I'm not clouding my judgment here. Ali's watching at home going, God, this guy's emotional. This guy is high energy. And there's Ali, super cold, chill, composed. That's why he's world number 4 and I'm not. What you see is what you get with me, right? you know I'm just... all this nervous energy I'm probably just doing when I'm alone as well. So it's cool that you can watch. Hopefully it's entertaining. Chilwell in for Zinchenko. Rico Henry, do you want to stay on my team, mate? Do you want to stay on my team? I think he does. He's got some all right fixtures as well. Rico Henry, after that hard double, he has Newcastle at home. I could see a clean sheet there. And in that week, I'll have Botman, who I don't want to play. Estupiñán goes to Spurs. Chilwell plays Wolves. Yeah, I could start Henry in that week. Or maybe I'll just go Shaw for the hit next week. Maddison's going to be coming in. All right. 8 minutes to deadline. I want to make my moves within 4 or 5 minutes. Oh, I'm still not sure on Henry. Do I keep Zinchenko? I'm definitely captaining Kane at least. Oh, do I keep Zinchenko? Henry. Sell Henry the chat. Oh, I'm still. Do you know what? I know I'm really close on it. I'm still 50-50 if I'm honest. Henry does not keep a clean sheet. I know that. Leicester score goals tomorrow. I know that. Zinchenko could keep it clean. Jason's thrown me with the Premier injuries have thrown me because it is his calf in the past. So annoying we don't get the press conference. So annoying we don't get the press conference, isn't it? We got Arteta post-match. Friday night deadline. Arsenal don't keep clean sheets. Yeah, good point, Haley. And Rob Holding's going to play. Zinchenko's going. Zinchenko out. Chilwell in. 3, I think. 2, 1. Okay, done it. Wasn't that bad. Right. Now to make it fun, I'm going to put 3 really good players on my bench because I've only got 10 players anyway. So, who am I benching? I'm going to bench Havertz. I'm going to bench not my captain. I'm going to bench Saka. I'm going to bench Martinelli. They're all going to come in. Keeper. I'm starting Kepa, by the way, over Raya, obviously. Kane captain. Confirmed team, I think. Guys, are you liking and subscribing? Hope you are. Zinchenko's out, says Dan. We don't know that. Yeah, Zinchenko's been sold. Yeah. All right, just to make sure I'm confirming my team. So I have Harry Kane captain. I've got 10 men. I've used both free transfers. And Chilwell comes in for Zinchenko. Let's hope Zinchenko doesn't start or gets 59 minutes. That'd be funny, wouldn't it? Zinchenko 59 minutes. Yes, please. That'd be great. On a clean sheet as well. Arsenal clean sheet. Zinchenko 59 minutes. That'd be brilliant. Yeah, let me refresh the screen. Oh. The team you can see on screen is like a image. It's not live. So what you're watching now when you see my team isn't actually me on the website. So we can't refresh that because that's a graphic. You'll notice it looks slightly different. It looks slightly better, doesn't it? These graphics are cool. It's not me with a mouse controlling my actual team. So that's that. Guys, that was fun, wasn't it? I enjoyed that. Am I nervous? Did I make the wrong call? Let's be honest. I said I was going to sell Rico Henry, didn't I? And then I changed to Zinchenko. And then I changed back to Henry. And then changed to Zinchenko again. But it was Premier injuries. A credible blue ticker in Ben Dinnery suggests that he could miss out and that he has had calf problems. And he's right. It was a calf that ruled him out for 10 weeks earlier in the season. That is important information. So look, Ben's not saying yes or no. What I'm saying is the information we have, we should probably think bigger picture and just consider that. And look, Rico Henry does have a double game week next week. And whilst I don't think he keeps clean sheets, he's still got the appearance points in there, hasn't he? Also, I'm going to be selling I'm going to be buying Maddison for an Arsenal mid next week. And let's say Toney gets a yellow card this week. Oh, Ali, hopefully you're still with us in the chat. Can you let us know the moves you make at 30 minutes, as soon as we hit the deadline? What was I saying? If Toney picks up a yellow, I'm going to have to sell Toney. So I'll be using my 4-point hit to sell Toney next week. Not necessarily want to be selling, say, Zinchenko to Shaw. I could sell Toney to Watkins or whatever. So, yeah, it's a really good point, actually. Setting a double game week could be silly and naive, even though I don't love Henry for that double game week. So, yeah, I'm happy with my decision there. I really am. Now, should I be deliberating over captain? Should I just be going, oh, should I captain Havertz or should I captain Toney? I'm on Kane. I think I'm happy with Kane. I am happy with Kane. I'm happy with Kane. I think if I wasn't going Kane, I would go Havertz, and then it would be Toney. I'm so not up for the. I'm so not up for Saka captain. I don't know why. I'm not really a Saka kind of guy. He's brilliant. He's brilliant. I own him quite a bit, but I'm more Martinelli, man. Something about it. Something about the way Martinelli plays. I don't like the Chilwell captain shout either. I think Chilwell's a good buy this week. I won't be captain him. Guys, if you've got any quick fire questions about captaincy or anything, I've got a minute to answer them. So, look, we're going to stay with you till 31 or 32 just to get Ali's moves. Ali, I need to know your moves, dude. So, hopefully you'll let us know in the chat. Hopefully you're still around. If Ali's not still around, the disrespect. The disrespect. Comes on, leaves early, doesn't stay around. Clock is ticking. Yeah, I'm set. Toney captaincy thoughts as Gus. I don't mind it at all. I think Leicester are rubbish at the back. It'll be Sutter and Amati centre-backs. Everson in goal. Likely. Good decision. I like it. I'm not going there myself, but I like it. Anything else? Any other questions? CH, you're right. I should probably stay to 35. Or maybe 32. Chilwell captain, Dan, not for me. Chilwell buy, yes. Chilwell captain. Don't think so. Oh, I'm seeing a lot selling Henry. FPL Salah selling Henry. FPL Salah has gone, friend of the show, has gone Chilwell to Henry. Henry to Chilwell. He's gone Captain Kane. Any Newcastle news? No, not yet. Shah's not going to start if you're worried about that. And Almiron's out. So, yeah, the others I expect will all be fine. Sorry to cough down the mic there, guys. Captain Havertz says Khalid. Nah, I'm good. Owning Havertz is enough. He's 5% owned. The whole Havertz-Watkins debate is awesome. And if Havertz outscores Watkins, I'm happy. Imagine if Watkins bangs and Havertz blanks. It's going to be terrible for me. And then if I've captained Havertz as well, even more terrible. I'm happy just owning Kai. Honestly, I'm good there, I think. Just want to double check my team's confirmed. Oh, deadline's gone. All good. Raid. Who's raiding? You may get a raid. Focal raid. Gianni Focal doing a raid. You're getting raided. Oh, guys. Yes, please. FPL Focal. What a legend. Didn't ask him to do this. How did he know? How did he know we were even live? Does Focal Yes, guys. Welcome to Chasing Green Arrows. So this is Chasing Green Arrows for all of you guys that are new around here. Thank you for joining. It's awesome to see so many new faces in the chat. Shall we show you what I did with my team? So we'll bring up my team before I made my second transfer. So if we see now, you're going to see what I did. Focal is a good man. This is what happens when you sort a guy out with Arsenal tickets, right? I gave Focal a pair of Arsenal tickets the other day, and look how he's rewarded me. He's only gone and told so many of his followers to come and watch Chasing Green Arrows. If you're new to Chasing Green Arrows, we do these streams on a Monday and a Friday. Usually it's me with someone really cool and credible. I've just had world number 4 Ali Yahangarov with me for the hour. Ali's since left and he needed some time to do his transfers. FPL Focal, you're a legend. Thank you, mate. Usually it's Dean Jones. You might know him as a journalist and football insider from Ranks FC. But yeah, Mondays and Friday streams, usually 7 p.m. So hopefully you're up for subscribing. But this is my team. Did I make a second transfer on this? And did I change my captain? Yes, I did. What did I do? I sold Zinchenko. I bought Chilwell. I was so torn on Henry or Zinchenko. I went Zinchenko. The fear that it's a calf problem, the fear it wasn't cramp and it's an issue that, he was out for 10 weeks with a calf issue earlier this season. I think he probably starts, but there's a chance he comes off early. There's a chance he has a recurrence of an injury. So I went Zinchenko, who I was looking to offload next week anyway. Henry's going to concede to Leicester, though, and he's probably not going to keep it clean in the double game week, but we could see attacking returns. Kai Havertz is in. Chilwell is in for Zinchenko. Who did I captain? I'm afraid to say I went boring. I went with Harry Kane. If Martinelli had played 60 last night, he was my captain. If he had played 90, I might have even captained him. But I just can't risk the Martinelli 60 minutes tomorrow, which he could get. Sorry, not tomorrow. They play Sunday. So, yes, guys, I did tweak here. I did change my captain to Harry Kane. And I did bring in Chilwell for Zinchenko. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you to all the FPL Focal newbies and newcomers. I love a raid. I would love to do a raid for someone else when I leave. I don't know who's still streaming. So that's pretty cool, Focal. Perhaps we'd like to return the favor one day, or maybe even have you on Chasing Green Arrows if you'd be up for it. What did you guys do in terms of your captain choices? Let me know in the chat. Did anyone go differential? Like, don't tell me in the chat if you've captained Kane or even Saka. But who's gone with a differential captain? Let me know and I'll call it out. Any Toney captainers out there? Any Kai Havertz captainers out there? Ben Chilwell captainers? Let me know in the chat. I'm already a subscriber. Thank you, Alt. Saka, Toney. Jovan went Toney. Sandeep went Toney. Yash went Trossard. Wow. AJT went Billing captain. Absolutely loved that. Focal went brave with Kane. Focal, as an Arsenal fan, were you considering an Arsenal asset? Like, I'm guessing you own. I don't know if you're on Saka and Odegaard or Saka and Martinelli. Like me, were you tempted? Because if I owned Odegaard, I genuinely think I would have captained him. Something tells me not to captain Saka this week. I don't know what. He's just been a little bit off in terms of how close he's been to the goal. He's been super wide. Martinelli, for me, if he hadn't played 120, was my captain. Thank you all the CGA love. Team CGA. Yeah, Joe went Odegaard. Brandil went Watkins. Ali, the world number 4, who was with us for an hour in the chat. Let's see what decisions he made. Ali went Chilwell in, Maddison in, and he captained Saka. Ali is ice cold. We were 20 minutes to the deadline. We had been speaking for an hour. I was anxious. I was high energy, just like I am now. And Ali was composed and chill. This is a guy that's been world number 1 for certainly last week. This is a guy that finished 215th last season. Absolute pedigree. He's 4th in the world at the moment. He hasn't used his wild card. He hasn't used his bench boost. He hasn't used his free hit. And 20 minutes to the deadline, he was like, if I was you, I'd captain Havertz. I might do this transfer. I might do this transfer. He went Chile and Madders. Who did you sell? Let us know, Ali. I like those calls, though. He sold Salah. He sold Trent. Completely fair enough. I love that. We also got FPL Royalty in the chat. FPL Focal, my favorite YouTuber, considered looking at Arsenal like Saka for captaincy, but he says Europa put him off. It was very close between Saka and Kane for FPL Focal, but he did go Kane in the end. And yeah, the 120 minutes, I guess, put him off. Maybe the Patrick Vieira sacking put him off. Although, like I said earlier in the stream, I don't think we're going to see a new manager bounce because it's not really a new manager. It's a temporary manager with Paddy McCarthy coming in. I think a lot of the players will be disappointed Vieira's gone. And he didn't sell Trent. He benched Trent. He sold Bueno. That's fair. That's fair. I love it, Ali. That's how chill you are. Didn't even know you sold. Guys, that has been awesome. Thank you so much for all joining. I'm going to leave because, oh no, I was going to leave, and John only went and hit me with a bit of Champions League chat. And you guys know I love Champions League chat. Let me give you my thoughts on the Champions League draw earlier. I was with my dad today, a lifelong AC Milan fan. He was like, "Oh, AC Milan have got Benfica. It's good, isn't it?" I was like, "No, Dad, you heard that wrong on the radio." We literally just pulled up in a car park 10 minutes after the draw. We'd both been listening in our cars separately. I was like, "Well, you got Napoli." He was like, "Oh, unbelievable." He's got money on Napoli to win. I've got money on Napoli to win the Champions League. I got 12-1. And I think they're probably going to win, aren't they, Napoli? They're going to beat AC Milan. Inter play Benfica. There's going to be an Italian team in the final, baby. And I've said since day one, Napoli will win it. Please don't think, though, that Benfica are a pushover. Benfica have lost one game this season. Benfica finished top of their group in a group that included PSG and Juve. Benfica looked comfortable in the last round, knockout round. They're a good team. A good team. And they also play in a league with the likes of Porto and Sporting Lisbon. Porto give a lot of teams problems in the Champions League, including Inter. And Sporting Lisbon were very good against Spurs, were very good against, knocked Arsenal out. Portuguese league isn't rubbish. Benfica are a decent team. So I think we're going to see Napoli beat Milan. I think Inter might just edge Benfica, but wouldn't be surprised to see Benfica win that. I think Chelsea are going to beat Real Madrid. And I think Man City are going to beat Bayern. I think Man City will beat Chelsea in the semis. And we're going to see a final of Man City versus Napoli. And Napoli are going to take it. Maybe. I do think City are the only team that will really cause Napoli big problems. And yeah, City are favourites. Of course they are. But Napoli are decent. Guys, thank you so much to all the Focal Raiders. John Hamilton, yes, I'm half Italian and Serie A is my favourite league. Before you leave, if you do fancy hitting that subscribe button, to all you Focal Raiders out there, we would love it if you subscribe to Chasing Green Arrows. That would mean a lot. And guys, one final plug from me, and I hate to be so plug heavy to so many newbies. The world number 4, Ali Hangarov, is in the chat. He's been the world number 1. He's an elite manager in every sense of the word. And whilst we've done a raid for Chasing Green Arrows, I would love to now do a raid to the Gianni Battici YouTube channel to watch a 15-minute interview I did with Ali last week, where he gave me his top 5 tips. Ali is a unique manager that's not been on FPL Twitter. He's not been in the community. And his tips are very different. And his gameplay is very different and unique to the gameplay that we perhaps go with when we look at the mainstream content creators like myself and like Focal. This guy is one of the most unique managers I've met. He's super chill. He doesn't use chips when other people use chips. He's smashing it for a reason. And his 5 tips in the 15-minute chat we had, which is on my YouTube channel, which was absolutely awesome. So I'm commenting in the chat here. This is my YouTube. If you click on my profile before you leave and then go and watch the top 5 chips from world number 1 video that was uploaded on Tuesday, I can't think of anything better to do post-deadline. We got an hour to the game. 15-minute video. Go check it out. We can probably bring up my page on the screen, actually, just to give you guys the button. I don't know if we can just put it up on screen, my comment. This is my YouTube comment. If we can bring that up, that'd be awesome. Yeah. So that's me. The 15-minute show with Ali is there, so you can click on that. But before you do that, make sure you're subscribing to this channel. I've already told you that. But thank you so much for watching. Focal, if you're still in the chat, such a lovely thing for you to do, mate. Thank you for that. And good luck this game week. For those that have gone differential captain, fair play. I think it's a good week to do it. For those that have sold Haaland, most of us, I think we're fine. For those that went Watkins, good luck. But I hope he doesn't outscore my boy, Kai Havertz. And look, let's hope Chilwell does well. Let's hope our Brentford players do well. I think we're going to see some juicy green arrows. And that's what this show is about. We'll be back with Dean on Monday. But for now, we spoke to Ali earlier. So he's been Ali. I've been Gianni, and we've been Chasing Green Arrows. Good night, guys.